Class 2, it's Mrs. Lewis here. In today's session, we're going to be looking at different types of sentences, and we're going to be basing our sentences around the word proud. Now, before we start looking at each different type of sentence, I just wanted to mention to you that later on this week, we are going to be celebrating something called VE Day, which stands for Victory in Europe Day. And that day marks the end of World War II, when Britain were at war with Germany. Okay, now lots of people throughout Great Britain will be feeling very proud on that day because of all of the soldiers and all of the men and women who went to fight in the war, even though it was really hard for them and really hard for their families. So there's going to be a lot of things going on over the next few days and this weekend to celebrate VE Day. So I thought we could write some sentences today to do with VE Day and use the word proud in our sentences, because that might be something that we are feeling about all of the men and women who gave up their lives for us and fought in World War II. Okay, so the first type of sentence that we're going to write is just a statement sentence. Okay, and a statement sentence just tells you something, just using like an everyday sentence. Okay, so they're the ones we use a lot every day. So if I was going to write a statement sentence using the word proud, I might say something like this. Now I'm going to start with a capital letter because I was at the start of my sentence, and I'm going to use a name here, so it's going to be Mrs. Lewis, so I'm going to need a capital letter for my name, because remember, we use capital letters for proper nouns. So Mrs. Lewis is proud, there's our proud word, is proud of all, sorry boys and girls, is proud of all the men and women, because it wasn't just men who were involved in the war, there was lots of women involved as well. So is proud of all the men and women who fought during. Now, I can write World War II, but instead of writing the whole word out, what you can do is we can just use an abbreviation for World War II by putting W, W, and then a 2. And this stands for World War II. Now, I need a full stop, don't I, at the end of my statement. So this is just a basic sentence. Call it a statement sentence, just using everyday words. Mrs. Lewis is proud of all the men and women who fought during World War II. Okay, the second type of sentence that I thought we would look at is a question sentence. Now remember, a question sentence asks you something, okay, and you're normally expected to give some sort of answer. And in class we talk about our 5 W's, don't we? Our who, what, why, when, and where. We also can sometimes start questions with the word how. So I think I'm going to start my sentence with a word how today. So I'm going to use a capital letter again because it's the start of my sentence. It's going to be a question sentence. So how many soldiers lost their lives? How many soldiers lost their lives during World War II. Now again, I'm going to use my abbreviation for that so that I don't have to write out the words World War II all of the time. So I'm using my abbreviation of World War II. Now, I'm not going to put a full stop on the end of this sentence because it's a question sentence. I'm asking something. How many soldiers lost their lives during World War II? So instead of a full stop, I would use a question mark at the end of that sentence. Okay, I'll give you another example of a question type sentence. We'll use a why question. Let's ask a question. Why, capital letter at the start of my sentence, did... Now I'm going to use capital letters here in the middle of this sentence, so have a look. Why did Great Britain... Oh, look, capital letters in the middle of the sentence. I wonder why. Because it's the name, isn't it? It's a proper noun. It's the name of a country. So why did Great Britain go to war with... Here's another capital letter in the middle of a sentence. Why did Great Britain go to war with Germany? Now, Germany needs a capital letter as well because that's also a proper noun. That's the name of a country. So why did Great Britain go to war with Germany? Now, again, I'm not putting a full stop at the end. I'm going to put a question mark because I'm asking a question there. Now, if you want to, boys and girls, when this video is finished, you could try and find out the answers to those two questions. You might have to use your internet for some research, or your adults might need to help you a little bit with that job. Okay, so we've had a statement and we've had two question sentences. Now the final type of sentence that we're going to look at writing is an exclamation. Okay, now we talk in class about using exclamation marks to show like strong emotions, or to express excitement or surprise or anger at something. Okay, so let's have a try at writing an exclamation sentence. I'm going to use the word proud in my sentence as well. So I, capital letter, start of my sentence, am proud. Let's get our proud word in. I am proud of all the soldiers. I am proud of all the soldiers who stood up for others and this is a good one. Defended their country. I am proud of all the soldiers who stood up for others and defended their country, even though, and this is the good part, even though it brought their families hardship. Because can you imagine, it must have been really hard for the people who were left at home while their dads or granddads went off to fight in the war, because they wouldn't know whether or not their dads or granddads or aunties or uncles and things were going to come back, would they? So I am proud of all the soldiers who stood up for others and defended their country, even though it brought their families hardship. Now here's my exclamation part. Just used a full stop there, but here's my exclamation part. What would be a good word? Amazing. What an amazing victory. Exclamation mark. Okay, so let's just quickly go over our sentence types again. We've got our statement sentence. Mrs. Lewis is proud of all the men and women who fought during World War II. Full stop. We've got our question sentences. How many soldiers lost their lives during World War II? Question mark. Why did Great Britain go to war with Germany? Question mark. And we've got our statement sentence. I am proud of all the soldiers who stood up for others and defended their country even though it brought their families hardship. What an amazing victory! Exclamation mark. Why don't you see if you can write some sentences about VE Day and use full stops, question marks and exclamation marks? And I'll see you again later in the week when I'll be talking a little bit more about Victory in Europe Day. Bye for now.